Hello class, my name is Philip Lupardis and I'm doing a presentation on ETL design and setup for the PlayStation company. When creating an ETL model for PlayStation is going to end up being a huge monumental task because of the size of the company and because of the scope of the project. When gathering business requirements, we need to look at the business processes and see what each department needs in the ETL pipeline in order to create analysis. Also, PlayStation needs to look at cost and scope to make sure that the project remains cost effective and meets the business requirements in order to run day-to-day operations. This is done with managers who sit down and look at KPIs, compelling business issues, decision-making processes, and supporting analytics in order to gain the required business requirements. We also have to look at database storage, how the company is going to store the data. The two main choices that they have from is cloud-based storage and then server-based storage. And in the end, I think PlayStation is going to end up using both, because just as big and huge the company is, if they have to have more data later on or more storage and they don't have it necessarily in their place, they can just buy more and create more space for their ETL processes. Then we also have to look at database administration. They help maintain and run the database to make sure that the maximum uptime is always available for the ETL process. Also in charge of database security, database tuning, backup recovery, and producing reports for queries. Then we also PlayStation needs data virtualization, especially since PlayStation is such a huge company. Data virtualization is key in order to centralize the ETL process and database. This allows for a logical data layer, data integration, data management, and real-time delivery for analytical processes. Also, we have master data and metadata. The metadata tells you things about the data without giving any actual data. It gives information as who accessed the information, how the data was formatted, and how the data was collected. Master data, also known as reference data, describes any information that is considered to play a key role in the core operations. Both are used together in order to help determine how the data is being transformed, where it goes, and how it's being used. When selecting software for the ETL process, these features are available within the software and that they also meet the needs of the company. And also another key thing, that business requirement that we need, is data governance. Data governance needs to be planned from the beginning of the ETL process. This process outlines how the data can be accessed and how the flow of data is being controlled. Make sure that the data cannot be misused and that it can only be accessed by people and systems for the required process at hand. As big as PlayStation is, there would be a whole department in order to manage data governance, and it would be part of the ETL planning process from the beginning of the project to end. When first starting out on the ETL project, PlayStation needs to draw a high-level diagram of the ETL systems. As the project continues, this plan should be updated frequently in order to show any changes in the ETL pipeline. When choosing the right tools for the job, I believe that versatility and ease of use is key. When choosing the right tools for PlayStation for data modeling, I would recommend IBM because of its available features and also its compatibility with Microsoft products. When it comes to data profiling tools, I would recommend Oracle because of its integration with other Oracle services and its popularity in the workforce, which would help reduce training. When developing for the ETL systems, we need to create common strategies for the various activities that the system will run. Here are some key requirements that the PlayStation needs in order to successfully design the ETL systems. Compliance. Need to make sure that the ETL system meets legal standards when it comes to local and federal privacy laws and regulations. Data quality via data profiling. When creating an ETL system, we need to look at the data sources to see how the data is populating within the system. This is key to prevent a break within the ETL system and to make sure that the data is usable throughout the entire process. If this is not looked at carefully, then this could break the database system down the line. Security. This is key to make sure that data is protected from the outside forces and also creates limited access to employees to prevent data from being accidentally deleted or misused. Data integration in 360 view. Company needs to see how database systems can be set up to work together in order to create a seamless system. If a database cannot be integrated, another plan needs to be made to see how these systems would connect with the main database. Data latency describes how fast the data travels from the database to the end user. This is key to make sure that the data is required for streaming has enough bandwidth in order to complete analysis in real time. Also, identify data that is considered a batch, which would identify processes that need to be ran at night in order to get enough resources in order to compile the data. Achieving and lineage need to make sure that the data that is not being used anymore can be archived and stored for long periods of time until the data is needed again. End user delivery interface need to make sure that the data is being handled off to the end user application is manageable in order to avoid the applications from slowing down. Available skills, we need to understand what skills are needed to run the ETL systems. Some of these systems require knowledge like SQL, Python, R, C++. We also have to look at legacy license. Look at the legacy systems to see which ones need to be kept, and identifying any redundancy legacy systems that are not needed need to be removed. And the ones that are still needed need to find new ways in order to integrate them within the new system. Once the ETL system hardware is set up, that is when the database administration can start creating the necessary tables and processes in order to start populating the data and begin running ETL processes in order to start day-to-day operations.